This project is researching methods to engage young people in neighbourhood planning. In this workshop we're using a familiar gaming platform called Minecraft to test whether we can successfully engage young people in the virtual planning and building of their neighbourhood.
The overall project has been around getting young people engaged and participating, with a particular focus on neighbourhood planning. From my point of view, I'm very interested in the engagement aspect and how young people and adults can communicate on shared topics.
One of our undergrad students who's working on the project decided that Minecraft would be an interesting platform to work with.
I think it's not the fact that kids don't want to do town planning. I think kids have got they've got ideas, and well, they've got lots of ideas, but the difficulty is that they're not engaged with the current system of town planning. So it's trying to work on their level, a world that they're used to get them to create.
We're actually currently getting them to build a replica of the town in which they come from, which I think, I'm a great believer in the fact that if you want to change something, you need a kind of understanding from the off. So if you've got that understanding, which is developed through building the buildings yourself, they have a much better grasp of the kind of architecture that's there, the buildings that exist, and how to kind of manipulate and change those. But equally, they're building up kind of value systems about the current sort of existing architecture of the town they come from, rather than just going in and kind of changing it.
Because what we found with working with kids is they'll say they want a Poundland or they want a McDonald's, and with this map you can go, so where do you want it? And so they knock the town hall down, and suddenly that's a problem because you don't have a town hall anymore. So it adds an element of consequence to the actions.
What's kind of crucial about it, and I think makes it quite exciting, is there are lots of parallels between using and setting up the gaming system and different types of planning. So for example, they're having to negotiate a communal space, they're having to think about the orientation and where buildings exist.
What signage is going up, what construction company, what they're going to call their construction company, what they've created, their opinions on it, having a look at what someone else has created, making suggestions to one another. Have you tried building something in granite? We need to have gravel in that, talking about the materials, not just blocks, not just techie stuff, but actually being able to think it through.
We've had no problems at all in getting them to master certain elements of the building craft, and also being quite disciplined and discerning about ensuring that they marry up the buildings that exist that we've been looking at through the Google Earth platform and replicating those in the final model. And they've been doing that with a real level of kind of accuracy and care, which is, as I say, was beyond what I expected.
People say that kids have got, or young people have got engagement issues, but I'd argue it's not that they're not engaged in things, it's just that the stuff they're engaged in isn't particularly useful to the world they live in. So how can you make the things they're engaged in useful?
Well, it's really fun for me because I use it as an app at home, so I know what to do.
The ability that you can use it with your friends and collaborate to build something which could potentially work really well.
Me and my friend Emily have been working on a certain part of Lewis.
It's quite cool because we've all contributed to how we would like it.
Kids can have the experience of learning how to design things on a large scale.
So if you like sport, you build stadiums.
I just thought of the wind turbine, and then everyone was thinking solar.
I've designed a hydropowered house.
It kind of teaches us how to cooperate and teamwork.
We're building things that would be helpful for the environment and for the local community.
Working together to build Lewis, to build somewhere you've already been.
They've all been really enthusiastic. There's been lots of excitement in the room. There has been lots of noise. Pretty much from the moment we met everybody to get on the bus, and seeing their friends in the street kind of going, yeah, we're going off to play Minecraft for 2 days. We're going to have a look at building Lewis. There's been excitement all the way through, and you can hear it through the hallways. So apologies to anybody nearby.
Also, they're creating games within Minecraft, which allows them to explore different areas of kind of resilience, thinking about where the food's going to come from, the energy that keeps them alive within the town itself, which of course all draws into kind of parallels of planning for real.
Our idea for the Minecraft survey is called time building. The aim of the game is to work as a team to build a set design in 1 hour. every 10 minutes, a freak disaster will come and destroy the parts of the building, like flooding, lightning, creepers coming, all things like that.
Within the dynamics of that group that we've got today, you've got people that know each other better than others and perhaps wouldn't naturally, if you went into a youth club and go, okay, you're all going to work together, that wouldn't naturally happen. Whereas because suddenly they're imaginary characters, although they're sitting opposite each other, suddenly you have got 9-year-old girls participating with 12-year-old boys, which just would never happen naturally.
Well, evidently, we haven't had any problems at all engaging young people in this process, which, you know, if I was to say to them, right, come along to the village hall or to the town council offices and spend the next 2 days thinking about planning the town, I think we all know that the chances of them being engaged in that are pretty slim. I think what's quite interesting about this, though, is we're actually developing a model of a town that's currently going through a neighbourhood plan process at this point in time. So whilst the real planning is going on in the town council and so on, in village halls and in the town council offices, the kids are actually getting involved in planning their version of Lewes within the platform itself.
Yes, on the planning committee for Lewes Town Council, I'm one of the councillors that looks at applications, etc., that come up from local residents and businesses when they want to build, develop, etc., their properties. Watching the collaboration of the young people, it's amazing to be in that room with children as young as 6 and 7 up to 12, 13, and watching them all working together at the computers, building the town, collaborating on different parts of it, etc., and working together.
Yeah, because you're working on their level. Suddenly you've gone to them, they're the experts, and kids aren't used to that in a way. So adults always pretend that they know what they're doing, and suddenly we're not pretending, we don't know. So we're going to them for advice.
It's the freedom for them to say, I have an opinion. And it's the freedom of going, and I don't necessarily agree with what your opinion is. That's interesting because they're not often given that option. To be able to have that flexibility for them to start learning about an area, learning about what's happening there, then having a thought through process to be able to come out with a result of their opinion is quite a big thing really for somebody of that age.
We get them in here at kind of 10 o'clock in the morning, and by 11:30, they are, you know, in the zone. They are building these environments, they're taking care, they have some kind of creative investment in it, which is, like I say, is really successful.
From Action in Rural Sussex, our principal aim is around engagement and participation in the localism agenda and how we can encourage young people to do that. There is also, from the other side of the university, is how design is used to go through that purpose. So as far as I'm concerned, there's a series of tools that I use and have gone out and engaged and facilitated groups with. And the uniqueness of this is actually how that can be more flexible and moving into the future and to widen engagement with quality results. And that's really what the university is bringing into it and kind of taking that step further on into that process.